Om Vakradunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samapprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karashyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Gurave Sarvalokanam Vishache Bhavaroginam Nidhaye Sarvavidyanam Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyaptadehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Shrutismritipurananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad-padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Tada Shiva-samārambhām Shankarācārya-madhyamām Asmadācārya-paryantām Vande Guru-paraṁparām Sākṣāt Katam Dayanandam Paramartha-swarupinam Tattva-jnana-prashāstaram Pranatosmi Param Padam Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhanaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavatam Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitham Purana Mudhinam Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatvavanusangadhami Bhagavad-gite Bhavadveshinim Mukam karoti vachalam Pandum bandhayate girim Yatkrupatamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha.
Om Shri
Paramatmane Namaha.
Atha Ashtamodhyayah. Only that much, because we have done this chapter, completed this chapter. Today we will see the summary. Ashtama Adhyayasya Saraha. You can see how the chapter moves from one topic to other topic. This chapter, Ashtamaha Adhyayaha, it is in the mid part of the Gita. The first 6 part, Shatkam, the Pratama Shatkam deals with the Jiva Swarupa. Now here it is. The second Shatkam, Madhyama Shatkam, deals with Ishvara. The 7th chapter, Ishvara, Aparaprakriti, Paraprakriti, they talked about. And because Ishvara is there, Ishvara is, whether it use the word Ishvara loosely, sometimes to mean Brahma also. So Ishvara could be Sagunam Brahma or Nirgunam Brahma. If it is Sagunam Brahma, then it is, we say, if it is Sagunam Brahma, then it involves Upasana. You can see the similarity between the Veda. In Veda also, Veda and Gita. In Veda also, we have the divisions, Karma Kanda, Upasana Kanda, and Jnana Kanda. So Upasana is in between. Upasana also is Karma, because it is Manasam Karma, meditation. It is manasa vyapara. Vyapara is karma eva. As we saw, vyapara matram karma. Bhashagara said in the Bhashyam 2, karmanyas karme pasya. It is manasa vyapara. Puja, etc., all physical karma. They are kaika karma. Upasana means it is purely manasa. So manasam karma, then there must be a upasya, that is sagunam brahma. Upasya is sagunam brahma, upasaka and upasana. As we have karma kanda, which is for antakarana shuddhi, karma yoga, therefore it prepares the mind of the person ultimately for jnanam, to arrive at jnana kanda, to arrive at Upanishad. That is chitta shuddhyartham karma kartavyam. Chittasya shuddhaye karma natu vastu palabdaye. Then chitta shuddhi anantaram chitta naischalyam. Chitta naischalyam. Chitta ekagrata. Further upasana is important. As a sadhaka, as a mumukshu, as a jignasu, the person starts with being a mumukshu, then he becomes a jignasu. He understands that moksha is only through jnanam, therefore becomes a jignasu. That is a big transition from being a mumukshu to a jignasu. So once he is a jignasu, jignasu also must perform karma yoga. He also must do upasana, but because he is a jignasu, he is committed to knowing Brahma, which is for which the sadhana, Shavanam Manana Nividhyasanam, Vichara, Vedanta Vichara. Therefore, as a means, Jignasu also performs the upasana, but upasana, that what he performs, it is not for gaining any limited ends. It is to prepare oneself for jnanam, because jnanam takes place only in the person who is prepared. That's what we call sadhana chatushtaya sampannaha adhikaritvam ishyate jnana praptaye. So if a person is really a seeker of moksha, then he must have undergone, or he must do karma yoga followed by upasana. Because of these two, you gain chitta shuddhi and chitta aishchalyam, which are the important prerequisites for jnana. So the upasana, what is done by this person, because he is committed to jnanam, the upasana is not for gaining any parichinna palam, not for gaining any particular loka, not for gaining any particular limited ends in the world. Upasana he performs, it is for gaining chitta aishchalyam, so that your mind will be focused on the dhyaya vishaya. That is the focus, that commitment, that ekagrata is required for jnana. So therefore, the jignasu also performs upasana. And there are other sets of upasakas. They are also they also perform upasana, but they perform upasana not to arrive at jnana, but they just perform. They perform upasana for either because they think they are not ready for Vedanta, either because they are not ready for Vedanta, or they perform upasana because for the love of Ishvara. That upasana, that also gives the palam, upasana palam. They are also nishkama. They don't have any the materialistic the desires or ends to accomplish. They are love for the Lord. At the same time, they are not jignasu, but they do perform upasana on Saguna Brahma, on Saguna Ishvara. Whereas Yeah, Mumukshu meditates on Nirguna Brahma, Nirguna Ishvara. The difference between the Saguna Upasaka and Nirguna Upasaka. Nirguna Upasaka it is Dhyanam in fact. In fact, that itself becomes a Dhyanam Nididhyasana. The Upasana stage also, as part of the Jnana Yoga, the person meditates on Nirguna Ishvara. That is Nirguna Brahma. That's what we call it is Nididhyasanam, not really it is Dhyanam, it is Nididhyasanam. The Dhyanam which is done by a Nirguna Brahma, Upasaka, Nirguna by a Jnana Yogi, as part of the Jnana Yoga, Nirguna Brahma, that is Nididhyasana. See, Nirguna Brahma, it is not possible without knowledge of what Brahma is. Without being a yeah, a Jigyasu. So Nirguna Brahma it's impossible. It is impossible without understanding the Shastra, without Vichara, Vedanta, Vichara, Shastra, Vichara. So if it is meditation on Nirguna Brahma, it is Nididhyasana. If the meditation is on Saguna Brahma, it is Dhyana. The same word we use, Upasana. So some people they do Upasana, as I told, a Jignasu performs Upasana to gain certain Adhikaritvam, Chitta Nishchalyam. And the Upasana, when it is Nirguna Brahma, as part of the Jnana Yoga and a sadhana, then it is Nididhyasana. And some people they do this Upasana, just Upasana, without any material, limited material, immediate limited material ends. They are Nishtama Upasakas. They are Nishtama Upasakas, but they are not into the Vedanta Vichara. They just perform Upasana. So Nishkama Upasana. So there are people. So therefore we can classify into three types of people. One who performs just Upasana for gaining immediate or after this Janma or Paralokya, for gaining limited ends. Whether the limited ends is either Iha or Paralokya, Amushmin Loki, whatever may be, Sargaloka Prapti, etc. They are Sakama Upasaka. Another set of people, they are Nishkama Upasaka. They just do Upasana on Ishvara, following the Veda. They do, but they are not yet arrived at the Vedanta. So they just do throughout the life, they just do Upasana, but they are not Sakami. They don't have any the immediate ends to accomplish because of the love for the Lord. They do Nishkama Upasana. And other one is our Jignasu. You also did Upasana before becoming a Jignasu as part of the sadhana. Karma Yoga followed Vipassana to get Yogita for Shravanam. And after Shravanam Mananam, as Nididhyasanam, also he does as far as Nididhyasanam, the Jnana Sadhanam. There also the person he does Upasana. That's not really Upasana. In the sense, it is Nirguna Brahma. It is focusing the mind on Brahma, focusing the mind on the meditating on the words of the Shastram. That is Nididhyasana. So the three. Now this Jignasu gaining Jnanam, once the Samshaya Viparya, the Samshaya doubts, Viparya, the errors which are due to the habits, all these are removed, which implies that person has done Shravana and did Nididhyasanam as it was taught in the 6th chapter, which we have seen. Then the person gains moksha, that is called Sadhyo Mukti. Here itself he gains Mukti, Sadhyo Mukti, Jivan Mukti. In fact, majority of us fall under this category. Whether we get Mukti or not, that is another thing. We do the vichara of the Shastra, Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasanam. Whether we are prepared to do Shravanam, Shastra Vichara, that is a different thing. And for that we say Shastra Vichara itself gives a necessary the qualifications. So we have to keep on listening to the Shastram, studying the Shastra. We should go on as long as we live. We have to enjoy the journey. So Sadhya Mukti will happen in its own time. So let us not bother about the end. This is the category. Now the middle category, the person who is in the middle is Nishkama Upasaka. He is a matured person. He values the more than material accomplishment. He values spiritual growth, but he has not arrived to Shastra. So, what will happen to that person? The question comes. Shastra talks about that. As a Sakami, a person performs Upasana and he gets immediate material ends. That is Sakama Upasaka. Sakama Upasana. Then what about the Nishkama Upasaka? And Jigyasu, we know, gaining Jnanam, Nishta and Jnanam, he gains Mukti, Sadhya Mukti. Now, the person who is in the middle, Nishkama Upasaka, what happens to him? The person, he does Upasana not for material ends, and he is a matured person, he is interested in spiritual welfare, but at the same time, he is not a Jigyasu. Throughout the life, he performs his Upasana. Ishvara Bhakti has got tremendous Ishvara Bhakti, Saguna Brahma, Upasana, he does not Nirguna Brahma Upasana. That note, not Nirguna Brahma, because Nirguna Brahma it is Nididhyasana, that is only for Jigyasu. So this distinction must be clear. So what will happen to the Nishkama Upasaka? That is what is discussed we saw in this chapter. This is not only the topic of here, we have seen this the same topic, but not in detail, but as one mantra here and there in Kathopanishad and Mundakopanishad. You'll see how it is. So this Nishkama Upasaka, and here Bhagavan addresses the Nishkama Upasaka by the same but yogi only. In fact, at the end, Tasmad Yogi Bhavarjuna, Bhagavan said, Tasmad Yogi Bhavarjuna means you be a yogi. So yogi, the word used meaning Nishkama Upasaka, we can take yogi means you be a Jignyasa also, we can take. You be a Mumukshu. You be a person seeking knowledge. That meaning in fact we took. Because more than the Krama Mukti, Sadhya Mukti, that is through knowledge, the knowledge, that is what is emphasized. Knowledge is what is emphasized. Therefore, Tasmad Yogi Bhavajana, we take the meaning to be, you be a yogi, you be a Jignasu. Mumukshu, Jignasu, Ityataha. Now, the Krama Mukti, that is the end this Upasaka gains. Being a Nishkama Upasaka, Nishkama Karma is Karma Yoga. Nishkama Karma is karma done without any pressure, the urge for enjoying the karma phala. It's just offered to Ishvara. That is Karma Yoga. Nishkama Karma. Similarly, Nishkama Upasana. The end result of this Upasana, which the Upasaka performs throughout his life, is Brahmaloka Prapti. Having gone to Brahmaloka, because he is a spiritually inclined person, is not interested in any material ends. So having gone to Brahmaloka, there he grows to be a Jignasu. Here he grows to be a Jignasu because since he is spiritually inclined person, therefore we assume he grows to be a Jignasu and receives Upadesha from Brahmaji, gains moksha. Again, he has to go to Brahmaji and ask Tadvidhi Pranipatena Pariprashtena Sevaya Padekshantite Jnanam Jnaninas Tattva Darshinaha. So he goes to Brahmaloka, again the same jnanam he has to pursue and gains mukti. The mukti, moksha, which is in the form of knowledge, jnanam, aham brahma asmi. That is the jnana. That is what is the end this Nishkama Upasaka gains. The same thing is gained by the Jignasu here itself, by Vichara, Vedanta Vichara, by approaching the teacher, asking for knowledge, doing Shravanam and Mananam, followed by Mananam with Vyasanam. That is Sabjyo Mukti. Now, the topic here is Krama Mukti. Because Mukti, Moksha, whether it is Krama or whether it is Akrama, that is Sadhyaha, Mukti is what is emphasized. Moksha from samsara, moksha, freedom from the sense of limitation. So that is why this chapter, it's one chapter, complete chapter, deals with Krama Mukti. Krama Mukti through Upasana. Upasana involves Ishvara. Therefore, it is the Madhyama Shatvam, because Madhyama Shatvam talks about, deals with Ishvara, Ishvara Swarupa. When Ishvara Swarupa is talked about, then Upasana and Ishvara also must be talked about. The result of which is Krama Mukti, provided the person is a Nishkama Upasaka. If the Upasaka is not Nishkama Upasaka, Sakama, then according to the results, the Upasaka will gain. That also we have seen in the previous chapter. The people worship different devatas, small devatas. Accordingly, they are blessed. As Bhagwan said, whichever devata he worships, he will be blessed with him. Yo yam tanum dattaha. Whichever form he worship, Shraddhaya chitam archati. Tasya chalam shraddham tameva vidadam yaham, as Bhagwan said in the previous chapter. So that phalam that Sakama Upasaka gains. And this Nishkama Upasaka gains Karma Mukti. And this Karma Mukti is, as we saw, it is discussed in Katha Upanishad also. How the Upasaka, because of his Upasana Bala, Yoga Bala, how he gives up the Shariram. Chatam Chaika Hridayasya Nadhyaha Tasam Murdha Nabinisrataika Tasam Murdhana Nabinisrataika. The same, in fact, that wordings are there in the Gita in this chapter itself. Tayoho Urdhvam Tayor Urdhvam Ayannam Amritattam Eti. Tayoho Urdhvam Ayan Amritattam Eti Vishwanganya Utkaramane Bhavanti. He gives up the Shari, he gives up the prana by bringing it to the Brahmarandra, from them Urdhvam Ayan Amritattam Eti. Iti Mundaka, iti Katha Upanishad. In Mundaka also it was talked about. Where it is talked about, recently we saw Mundaka, the Mundaka summary also we saw. Satyameva jayate nandritam satyena panta vitato devayanaha. Devayanaha is the marga, Uttarayana marga. Talked about in this chapter, Uttarayana marga presided by the Devata Uttarayana, that Yana Uttarayana marga Devata. And that path is Satyena pantaha, it is vitataha, paved with truthfulness. So therefore, Satyam as an important virtue talked about, emphasized for the Upasaka. Yena akramanti rashayaha hi aptakamaha yatratat satyasya paramam nidhanam. There he gains the treasure. Nidhanam idiyate iti nidhanam. What is the nidhanam? That is Brahma. Brigaccha tadvimachintya rupam sukshma chatat sukshmataram vibhati iti we have seen. So, going to Brahma Loka, gaining jnanam from Brahmaji, and that he becomes free, discovers that Agam Brahma Asmi. The discovery, ultimately the discovery leads to freedom, moksha, freedom from the sense of limitation. So this chapter is exclude, it is exclusively talks about this, the phalam gained through upasana, vishkama upasana. The seeker is also a seeker of moksha, but he seeks through traveling to Brahmaloka. By traveling to Brahmaloka, he gains moksha. So, as one or two mantras are only in the Upanishad deal with this Kama Mukti. Here, Bhagavan has dedicated one chapter, the entire chapter, one entire chapter for this Kama Mukti. So, this chapter is the Gita, deals with Karma Mukti, Mukti gained in order, in succession. That is called Karma Mukti. How to verify, how to know that one goes to Brahma Loka? It is all Shastra. Shastra being a Brahmanam, we cannot have samshaya with regard to what Shastram says. Shastram says he gains Brahma Loka and gains knowledge from Brahmaji, becomes free. That is all Shastram says, that we have to accept. We cannot question that. Because Shastram is Pramanam. We cannot prove it, we cannot disprove it. But we can appreciate that even going to Brahma Loka, to be free, he has to gain this knowledge. He has to discover this, but of course not by himself, because Pramanam to be handled by a person, Sampradaya with that Brahmaji himself handles. So therefore we cannot object, because it is taught by the Guru. Their Guru happens to be Brahmaji himself. Therefore gains knowledge and becomes free. So ultimately moksha is the end for both the people. That is, who is committed to Jnana Yoga and who is committed to Upasana Yoga. You can call Upasana Yoga. Both are mumukshus. But one discovers arriving to some Brahmaloka, whereas other person discovers here is. The discovery is same. Discovery is self-discovery. The result is same. Because discovery being Agamatma Brahma, and that is Jnanam, that Jnanam itself is moksha, therefore end also the same. Only thing is the Upasaka travels. So that is the difference. So let us see the summary of this chapter. The this chapter as is a seed shloka in the previous chapter, as we have seen. Bhagavan used many the words which Arjuna was not aware of it. Adibhutam, Sadibhutam, Sadiyajnam, then Karma, Adhyatmam. So therefore, so that Bija Bhuta shlokas, it is called Bija Bhuta shloka because it becomes a Bija for the successive chapter. So through that Bija Bhuta shloka of the previous chapter, the result of which is this chapter, the entire chapter. So that is how each chapter continues as continuation. But here explicitly those words are used by the Lord, and that becomes the matter of inquiry or the interest of knowledge for Arjuna. Therefore, this chapter begins with the question of Arjuna. Arjuna has 7 questions. Arjuna has 7 questions. And the 7 questions are presented in the first 2 shlokas, shloka number 1 and 2. So the chapter begins with Arjuna Uvacha. What is the order of the questions? Kim Brahma, number 1. Kim Adhyatmam. Kim Karma. Kim Adibhutam. Kim Adidaivam. Kim Adiyajnaha. The last one is Prayana Kale Katam Neyaha. Niyatatmabhihi. That is the last one, final question. Remembering the Lord at the time of death. How? Niyatatmabhihi Katam Bhavati. So this first 6 questions are dealt in in 2 shlokas, the following 2 shlokas. Whereas the last question, the entire chapter, that is from the fifth shloka. The third and fourth shloka are the answers to the 6 questions of the first 2 shlokas. And the last question, the 7th question, for which the answer is the entire chapter beginning with the 5th shloka onwards. Now, here, the question what he has, Kim Brahma, Aksharam Brahma. What is that Brahma? Kim Tat Brahma? The Brahma is Aksharam Brahma. The Aksharam, that which is not subject to perish, it is not subject to decay, it is imperishable. That is Brahma. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, Brahma. And next is, what is Param? The word Paramam, the word is, means it is ultimate. That is Paramam, the word, limitless, Paramam. Aksharam Param Brahma. Okay, then what is Adhyatmam? Adhyatmam is Sabhavaha. Sabhavaha Adhyatmam Uchyate. That Aksharam Brahma Chaitanyam manifesting through the Shariram, which is what is called Adhyatma. Adhyatma is this Sabhava. Sabhavaha Adhyatmaha. Adhyatma Uchyate. Atma is Adhyatma is Adi Atmani. Atmani. Adi plus Atma is Avibhava Samasa. Atmani. Atmani is in this body. What manifests? Atma Chaitanyam manifests through Shariram. So that is Adhyatmam. Atma meaning Shariram. Atmin Sharire. Atmani. Atma manifest. Vibhati Bhati. Therefore, Adhyatmam. Then what is karma? Bhuta Bhava Udbhavaha Visargaha. That is karma. Bhuta Bhava Udbhava. That is the Bhuta Bhava is the Janma, the existence of beings. Then Bhuta Bhava Udbhava Karaha. Udbhava Karaha is here the karma as, since it is the karma which is responsible for the Bhuta Bhava, Bhuta Udbhava Kara, and also Visarga. The karma which is responsible for the birth, Janma of all the beings, and existence of all the beings, and Visargaha Pi. So that is karma. So that is any Vedic karma, because it's all Vedika. Therefore, any Vedic karma which are responsible for Srishti, Jiva Janma, that is karma. Jiva Janma, Bhuta Bhava, and existence. Udbhava Karaha is which give rises to Bhava, existence. So that is Visargaha is karma. Visargaha is another word for karma. Visargaha karma uchyate. Karma sangitaha. So Aksharam, what is Brahma, what is Adhyatma, what is karma? Karma is answer. What is karma? Karma which is that is called karma, which is an offering, an oblation. In terms of the Vedika drishti, we can say karma is that which is offered into the fire. That is called Visarga, karma sangitaha. And karma, that because of which you get punya, and because of punya, the being sustained are born. So the janma is because of karma. And Manushya Janma is because of both Punya and Papa. So therefore it is action gives rise to Punyam. Of course Papam also. But because here it is the Vedic karma, therefore give rise to Punyam. Because of Punyam, sufficient punyam, there is Manisha Janma. Therefore, it is that which is causes which causes the production of these bodies for all the beings. That is what is called karma. All these are presented in the Vedic vision. Therefore, oblation, etc. We say Visarga is oblation offered into the fire, into the Agni. Yajna karma. In fact, the third chapter we saw Yajna karma. Yajna karma. Yajnat bhavati bhutani annat bhavanti. This, in fact, we starts with annat bhavanti bhutani. Even annam also parjanya. And parjanya, how does parjanya comes? How does parjanya meaning clouds? How clouds are formed? Annat bhavanti bhutani. When the Gita is said in the reverse way, annat bhavanti bhutani parjanyat annasambhavaha. Yajnat bhavati parjanyaha. Yajna karma samudbhavaha. What is yajna karma samudbhavaha? The punya is born of action. The same thing is mentioned here. Yajna karma samudbhavaha. Yajna meaning in that shloka we have seen punyam. The punyam is born of karma. So that punyam born of karma, the punyam which is born of, that punyam which is born due to what? That is called karma. It is definition of karma. So therefore, adhyatmam, brahma, karma. So we simply say the karma, Vedic karma, which are responsible for the creation of things and beings. It's called karma. Yajna karma samudbhavaha. The same thing is rephrased in a different language here. Bhuta bhava udbhava karaha. This visargaha karma sangitaha. Karma through which the beings are produced. Karma due to punyam. So it involves punyam. Yajna karma samudbhavaha. That is the meaning. Then the adibhutam. What is adibhutam? Adibhutam ksharo bhavaha. That which are subject to perishing, which are subject to perish, which are subject to decay, which are subject to change, they are all adibhutam. Therefore, the entire jagat is adibhutam, sharaha bhavaha. And purushaha, adidevatam is called purushaha. Adidevatam, the word here referring to Hiranyagarbha, the samashti, sukma sharira abhimani, atma, that is Hiranyagarbha. Atma, which has abhimana, which samashti, sthula sharira is called Virat. With the sukma sharira is Hiranyagarbha. With the Karana Shariram, it is called Antaryami. So Hiranyagarbha. So Adi Devatam, Deva, the Devatam, that is the one who presides over Samashti Sthula Sharira, Sukma Sharira, Hiranyagarbha. He is a deity of all the Devata. The very deities of all the Devatas, there are so many Devatas presiding over different faculties. So the one who is a Devata of all the Devata is Adi Devata. He is the presiding deity. He is responsible for all the faculties what we enjoy. Therefore, Adi Deva. Then Adi Yajnaha. Adi Yajnaha is, I am the Adi Yajnaha, I am the Narayana, Vishnu, who presides over the karma. Adi Yajnaha. So Adi Yajnaha, I am the receiver of the oblations what you offer, and the result of which what you gain. That is through me. I am the Data Karma Paladata. So I am the one in this body, Dehe, as Adi Yajna, Paramatma Ityartaha. Adi Yajnaha is Paramatma. So these 6 questions are answered. Then from the 5th shloka onwards up to the last shloka, 28th shloka, is the answer to the 7th question. Tayana Kale Katam Nyeyaha Asmabihi. How to understand as the time of death, when death approaches, how to understand Katam Nyeyaha Niyatatmabihi Prayana Kale. How can I know you at the time of death? And the mind, for the one whose mind, whose mind is steady, niyatatmadihi, by the one who have the minds which are steady, how are to be known? That is the question. Then for that, Bhagavan says, from the 5th shloka onwards, that is the why one should remember the Lord, first of all, and how should one remember the Lord. The Bhagavan should be remembered at the time of death, because the antakala smaranam, whatever you recollect or remember at the time of death, that determines the next janma. Because that becomes the seed for the next janma. Therefore, one has to remember the Lord. Therefore, why should one remember the Lord? That is the answer. How? For the Bhagavan says here. So, 5th shloka, Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram, giving up the shariram, thinking me, the one gives up the shariram. Where does it go? It comes to me alone. So, remembering me, the Ishvara, at the time of death, yaha kalevaram, the shariram tejati, that person, he comes to me. There is no doubt with regard to that. And here Bhagavan says, why I should be remembered? Because whatever you remember, yam yam vapi, smaran bhavam, kalevaram tyajanti, you gain that alone. Whatever, remembering whatever you give up the sharira, you give up the sharira, that alone you gain. So, therefore, tam tameva iti. Therefore, therefore, to come to me, tasmat sarveshu kaleshu, mam anusmara. So, if you remember the Lord all the time, so that you will remember the time of death, then you will reach the Lord, you will reach me. You will reach me. Iti. Mayarpita manobuddhihi, mame vaishasya samshayaha. Iti. So you will come to me alone. You will come to me is, you will gain mukti, which is krama mukti. Because no vichara here, Vedanta vichara. Is upasaka, so giving up the shariram through its upasana, balam, through its yoga balam. Therefore, he reaches the Lord. He reaches the Lord and gain mukti, that is karma mukti. Chatam chaika hridayasya nadyaha, tasam murdana abhinisritaita. So therefore, tayor urdhvam amritatvam eti. So tayoga urdhvam urdhvamagin amritatvam eti. Therefore, upasaka, therefore karma mukti. So he gives up the sharira, the jiva, the prana through Brahmarandra. Therefore, Mam eti, remembering me, the one who gives up the shariram, who gives up the prana, he comes to me. Comes to me means he gains Brahmaloka, that is to be understood, and Karma Mukti, that is the end. So that is the final end. Brahmaloka is intermediary. So, Mam Yeva Yeshyasi means not that he will gain here itself, because it's Upasaka. Here Ishvara Smaranam is talked about. So therefore, Trayana Kale Katam Nyeha Asmabhihi, for that one has to repeatedly think of the Lord while living, while being active, while being energetic and active, so that if the person can remember at the time of death and gains the Lord through Krama Mukti. Then how can the Lord be remembered? That is further talked about. For that he says, like Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu, we have to remember me at all times, all the time. It doesn't mean one has to give up karma. Even karma is Ishvara Aradhana. So therefore, Satata Smaranam, as Bhagavan said, always Sarveshu Kaleshu, all periods of time. It means Satata Smaranam, always Ishvara Smaranam, and that is to be done, and doing which the person will gain me. With regard to that, there is no samshaya. And abhyasa. Abhyasa yoga yuktena. How to be done? Abhyasa, by practice. The practice along with abhyasa yoga yuktena chetasa niyama, chetasa nanyagamina. The mind which is committed to reaching me, committed to me alone. Na anyagami. By that paramam purusham divyam yati. E partha anuchintayan. Meditating on me, the Ishvara, by repeated practice, abhyasa yoga yuktena, with the mind which is endowed with the focus, na anyagami, is committed to me alone. Therefore, thinking me, he reaches me. And what about the me here? Here we can see. What about me, the Ishvara? That Ishvara Swarupa is talked about, Upasya. Here we can find some shlokas. The Nirguna is talked about, Nirguna aspect of Ishvara. The shloka can be interpreted from both aspects, Nirguna aspect as well as Saguna aspect. There are some shlokas like that here. So here, Kavim Puranam, all these words are the adjectives of the Ishvara. So Kavim Puranam Anushasitaram Anoraniyam Anoraniyamsam Anusmaredyaha Sarvasiddhata Achintya Rupam Aditya Varnam Tamasaf Parastat. So meditating on the Lord, he said, Paramam Purusham Divyam Yati E Partha Anuchintayan. What is the object of Anuchintayan? And that is given to Ishvara who is Kavihi, who is Puranam, Anushasitaram, Sarvasiddhata, the sustainer of everything, is Achintya Rupam, is inconceivable. Aditya Varnam, knowledge is Jnana Swarupa. And Tamasaf Parastat, beyond this ignorant darkness. Therefore, one who meditates on me, he gains me through Krama Mukti. Then the Prayana Kale, what is to be done? The sadhana, that also is said. Prayana Kale, what the Upasaka has to do. Manasa, with the help of the mind, which is Achalena Manasa, with the mind, which is steady. Bhaktya, endowed with Bhakti. Yoga Bala is Ashtanga Yoga Bala. He has done asana, pranayama, pratyahara, practice samadhi. So therefore, and bringing the prana between the eyebrows through the yoga and taking the prana slowly upwards. Then Dhruvoha Madhya Pranam Samyak Aveshya, taking the prana between the eyebrows. Then the steady mind, the yogi raises prana and remembering the Lord, he gives up the shariram and he chants a mantra. And here the Omkara mantra, Omkara is given as an example. Yadaksharam Veda Vido Vadanti Vishanti, Yadya Aksharam. But Yadya Aksharam is here, it is Omkara. Omkara as the Omkara is the Alambanam. Smaranam, Ishvara Smaranam can be done with any form. Any Alambanam can be taken. Here it is Omkara Alambanam. Therefore, Yata Aksharam Veda Vidaha Vidanti Vishanti Yadyatayo Vitaragaha. Bhagavan says that I teach you, Pravakshe. Tatya Padam Sangraya. I will talk about that to you briefly. That Aksharam, Yata Aksharam Veda Vidaha. Knower of Veda. Talk about that. The Tatparya of the Veda is Aksharam Brahma alone. So, desiring with Brahmacharyam Charanti, Chantaha, desiring which Vitaragaha, Yatayaha, Vishanti, Vitaragaha. So that I teach you, Iti Bhagavan says. Then in the next following shloka, how the prana, how the Upasaka, at the time of death, who is Niyatatma, who has the mind under his Vasha, how does he give up the Shariram? Sarvadvarani Sanyamya. Sarvani Dvarani, Sarvadvarani, having discipline all the Dvara, all the Indriyas, withdrawn all the sense organs, Indriyani, Sayamya, and placing the mind in the heart. That is, in the heart, the mind. That is, the mind is not, it means placing the Manaha, Hridi Nirudhyacha. It means the mind is not allowed to think of anything else, only Ishvara Sparadam. Then, Murdhya, Murdhanyadhayatmanah Pranam, Murdhani Adaya Atmanaha, Murdhani, Murdhani Adaya Atmanaha, on the top. Murdhani is at the top of the head, fixing the prana, taking one prana to Brahmarandra. First is taking the prana between the eyebrows, I said before, then taking the prana upwards to the Brahmarandra, the one who remains in the Yoga Dharanam. Yoga Dharanam is focus of the mind, Dhyanam, and then Dharanam, the Ashtanga Yoga. So, Astitaha Yoga Dharanam, then he gives up the Shariram, chanting the mantra Omkara. Omkara is just an alambanam for Ishvara, any alambanam. It could be Rupa, it could be Shabda. Omkara is Shabda, the Pratika. So taking Omkara as a support, the Upasaka gives up the Shariram. It is up to this shloka, starting from 5th shloka onwards, up to here, how to remember the Lord, how can one can remember the Lord and give up the Shariram is talked about. And in the 12th mantra, 12th to 14th, here we can see the disciplines which are to be followed by Upasaka at the time of Upasana. All these things are talked about. This is incidentally talked about, like the Indriya Nigraha, then withdrawing prana from all activities, then bringing it to the middle of the eyebrow, Yoga Dharanam. All these are to be done along with Upasana, along with Ishvara Smaranam. Smaranam, as I told, it can be done with any form of the Lord or the Shabda. Yes, Omkara is Shabda Pratika. It's a sound symbol. It's just an example. Yes, an alambanam, but Bhagavan Krishna is presence here. So, therefore, that alambanam represents the Ishvara, Purna Ishvara. So, therefore, support. The support can be anything which represents Purna Ishvara, that taking that as a support, the Upasaka, following the disciplines, gives up the prana. So, here it said, Ananya Chetaha Satatam. Ananya Chetaha, the mind which doesn't think of anything else, it is committed, Ananya Chetaha. And before, Omiti Ekaksharam, as I told, Omiti Ekaksharam, Brahma, Vyakaran, Mamanusmaran, F Prayati, Tejan Degam, Sayati Paramam Gatim. So here, the Upasaka meditating on Upasya, for that Alambanam is, here it is Pratika Rupa Alambanam, Pratima Rupa Alambanam, or Pratika Rupa Alambanam. Here, Pratika Rupa Alambanam, Omkara is taken as an example. So meditating on that, Sahay Paramam Gatim Yati, he gets the highest result. Highest result of Upasana is Mukti, Karma Mukti. One who Yajan Dekam, leaving this Sharira, he travels and he gets the highest result. The result of Upasana, that is Karma Mukti. Then Ananya Chetaha, these are the disciplines which Upasaka has to follow. Ananya Chetaha, Satatam, that is mind. Mind should be committed to the Upasya Vishaya, Upasya Devata. So not placing the mind anywhere else. Satatam Mam, always me. Satata Smaranam. Satatam Yaha Mam Smarati Nitya Shahat. For him, it is easy. Tasya Aham Sulabhaha Partha. For him, I am easily reachable, attainable. Iti. Then from the 15th shloka onwards, we can see a comparison is made. Comparison made between the end, that is karma mukti, gained by the upasaka, the highest end gained by the upasaka, karma mukti, and that is because of upasana. And other accomplishments, a upasaka gains. So there's a comparison is made. The Nirguna Brahma upasaka gains karma mukti, ultimately becomes free. What about the other upasaka? So that comparison is made here in these shlokas, starting from 15th shloka onwards up to 22. That is the topic. That is the Nishkama Karma Upasaka, giving up the Sharir. How does it travel? Where does it go? What happens to him? And the Sakama Upasaka, what happens to him? How does he travel? Where does he go? So the Karma Mukti, the person who gains Karma Mukti by going to Brahma Loka, it means he gains Ishvara, that Ishvara Jnanam in the form of that Agam Brahma. For that he has to travel. For that he has to travel, but for it there is no Punarjanma. So traveling is involved, but there is no Punarjanma. Mukti, Karma Mukti is the final end he reaches. Karma Mukti, going to Brahmaloka and becoming free. Going to Brahmaloka, therefore travel is involved. Other jivas also travel. This Upasaka also travels. So what is the difference? This Upasaka travels, but he doesn't return, doesn't come back. It is anavritti. Therefore, the path through which the jiva travels, the Upasakas travels. Therefore, the path can be divided into avritti, anavritti. Upasaka do not return because karma mukti palam is nitya palam, whereas anything which are attained through upasana, they come under anityam. Therefore, avritti, they are subject to return. So that is what is talked about. Abrahma bhavana lokaha punaravartino vina. Mamapetya tu kaunteya punarjanmana vidyate. The one who attains me, for him there is no return. It doesn't come back. It doesn't come to samsara again. But up to Brahma Loka, they are subject to return. And this Upasaka, Nishkama Upasaka, therefore, he who gains me doesn't come back. What about all the other Upasaka, Sakama Upasakas? They return back. But both travel. What about the path? The travel that is talked about. The two types, that's called two types of marga. Because two types of palam. Nitya palam, anitya palam. Nitya palam by the Nishkama Upasaka. Anitya palam by Sakama Upasaka. Because the palams are different, therefore two types of the marga, which is the topic. So two types of marga. The margas are described. It is, and as an, the margas are there as an incidental information here. The Brahmaji's life also, Bhagavan says, Brahmaji's life is, we discussed, we thought it is Brahmaji lives for 100 years. 100 years, 365 days, 100 years, one day is 2000 Chaturyuga. So you can say how long the Brahmaji is. So that is the lifespan of Brahmaji. And when Brahmaji goes to sleep, Nitya Pralaya, when Brahmaji goes to sleep, that is a Pralaya for the Jiva. And when he wakes up, again Srishti starts. So therefore Avyaktat, this Sarvaha, Vyaktaha Bhavanti, Agaragame, Ratriagame Praliyante, Tatra Eva, Avyakta Sanyake, iti. Therefore the Jiva helplessly, they go and come, Bhutva Praliyate, Ajnani Jivas, having been born, again they, having been born and died, and again they come back. The samsara continues for the jiva. There is no escape from this Janma Marana Chakra. So when the morning, that is morning for Brahmaji, when he wakes up, the jiva comes to being, or the jivas manifest from Abhyaktavastha. When the Brahmaji goes to sleep, Ratri Agami, helplessly jiva goes back to manifest avastha. Iti, coming and going. But there is another Abhyakta, which is the Adhara even of Maya, that doesn't come and go. It is Paraha, Tasmat Paraha, Bhavaha, Anyaha, It is Avyaktat Sanatanaha. So here Brahma, which is pointed out by the Lord here, Yasa Sarveshu Bhuteshu Ashyatsu Navinashyati. So that Brahma which is Avyaktam, Maya is also called Avyaktam. We saw therefore the Maya Yaha Param Brahma. Therefore Avyaktat Sanatanaha Vyaktaha Anyaha. It is Bhavaha. Brahma as is Bhavaha. It is existence. So Yasa Sarveshu Bhuteshu Nashyatsu Na Vinashyati means even when all the beings are destroyed, Brahma, it is not subject, it is changeless. Paramatma, it is Avyaktam Brahma. It is not affected by any change. It is changeless. That is called Aksharaha iti Agugu. Avyaktaha Aksharaha iti Agugu Panditaha. That is that Gati. That this Param, this Paramam Gatim. This Paramagatyam, this Avyaktaha Akshara iti Agugu, that is called Akshara, that Avyakta is called Akshara, that is Akshara, it is a word taken from Mundaka Upanishad. Brahma is referred to by the word Akshara. So Akshara, which is not subject to time, not subject to change, not subject to time, therefore it is not subject to change, it is changeless. That Aksharam is what is the Paramam Gatimiti Panditaha Agugu, that is the highest goal, reaching which there is nothing else to be achieved. Therefore, Paramagati is this Akshara. So, a Partha, and that is gained through Bhaktya, Ananya Bhaktya, with Ananya Bhakti, that is gained. Iti. Then in the following slokas, it is talks about the path which is taken by the Upasaka in his pursuit of Karma Mukti. So therefore, Yatra Kale to Anavrittim, Avrittim Chaiva Yogina, the two types of Marga, Avritti and Anavritti, that is called Shukla Marga and Krishna Marga. And Shukla Marga and Krishna Marga traveled by the Jiva, which includes Upasaka also, but there is a difference. Upasaka do not come back. The Margas are described here. The Shukla Marga is, that is prepared over by the Devatas, Agnihi, Jyotihi, Agaha, Shuklaha, and Shanmasa Uttarayanam. Tatra Prayata Gachanti, Brahmavido Janaha. So Brahmavit, here it is, Brahmavit is Saguna Brahma Upasaka. Tatra Prayata, they travel through this path. Brahmavidaha, not Nirgunam Brahma. Here it's Sagunam Brahma, Upasakaha, Upasakaha Ityartaha. So Tatra Prayata, Upasaka travel through this Marga, which is called Shukla Marga. Whereas the other Jiva, who has although done Upasana, but Saguna, it is a Sakama Upasaka. They also travel, but they travel through a different path, which is presided over by Dumaha, Ratrihi, and it is Krishnaha, dark. Darkness also is a Devata. You have to look upon all these are Devata. Shanmasa, Dakshinayanam, these Devatas. Tatra Chandramasam Prapya, Yogi is Sakama Upasaka, Nivartate. Those who come back, they are also Yogi only. So they also have done Upasana. So therefore Yogi, Nivartate, they come back. Therefore there are two Marga, Shukla Krishna Gati Yete, Jagata Shashvate Mate. Therefore these two Gatis are well known for the people of the world. Traveling through one, they return, traveling through another, they do not return. So therefore Upasaka travel through Shukla Marga, traveling through which they do not return. It means they attain Mukti, Brahmaloka, and then Mukti. Naite Sute Parthachanan, last but one, Shloka, Yogi Mugyati Kaschana. This Ete Sruti Partha, these two parts, having known these two, which one an intelligent person will choose? Yogi na Mukyati. Yogi is not deluded with regard to what path one should take. Therefore, which path a yogi will take? Yogi will take the path traveling through which do not return. One doesn't return. Therefore, Bhagavan says here, may you become Tasmat Yoga Yukto Bhavadana. May you be endowed with the knowledge and pursue Jnanam, pursue Moksha. Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu. Therefore, Yoga Yuktaha Bhava Arjuna. So, Yoga Yuktaha Bhava Arjuna iti. Then the last shloka, which glorifies the topic. The topic is Mukti, Krama Mukti. So, Vedeshu Yajneshu Tapassu Chaiva. The result of Saguna Brahma Upasana, and that is done by the Nishkam Upasaka. The result of that, it is highest, higher. Therefore, Yogi Idam Viditva, having understood what these 7 questions, what Arjuna has, having understood. I have answered you, therefore, having understood, the Yogi Sarvam Idam Atyeti, it transcends, it outgrows of everything, gets the thing which is higher, the highest palam. Transcends what? Vedeshu, Yajneshu, Tapassu Chaiva, Daneshu, Yat Punya Palam Pradishtam. The results of learning the Vedas, the result of performing the karma which are mentioned by the Veda, the results of performing the tapas, as well as charity done, the punya which is accrued due to all that. It goes beyond all these results, all these punya karma. Means the results of all the punya karma are included in the moksha param. Therefore, gains moksha. Adyam sthanam upaiti, he reaches the state, reaches the avastha, the state. Adyam, what is a sthanam? Sthanam is Adyam sthanam. He reaches the Lord. The Lord is referred to with the word Adyaha. Adyaha means he is the Karta. He is the cause of everything. Adyaha. Adi. Adi Bhagavan, we say. Adi. Adyaha. That's about Adi. Adi, the word referring to the one who is a cause of everything. Causeless cause. Adyaha. Adyam sthanam. It means he reaches the Lord. As he said, Madbhavam Yati. Before the previous shloka, the shloka which has gone before, Bhagavan said, Madbhavam Yati. He reaches me, he reaches my state. So with this, this chapter is concluded. The result of this upasaka, this upasana is, by the upasaka, Nishkama upasaka, is higher than all the other karma, and he gains mukti, which is karma mukti. So karma mukti is the topic. If the person is a jignasu and works for moksha here and gets freedom, it's called sadhya mukti. So karma mukti or sadhya mukti, whatever mukti. Mukti, that is the moksha is the end. And Krama Mukti is the topic of this chapter. In fact, this is the only chapter dedicated to Krama Mukti. More emphasis on Sadhya Mukti, because Krama Mukti, the Upasana, is not easy compared to Sadhya Mukti. So this Krama Mukti, the Upasana, is not easy. If one can strive by doing Upasana and gain Krama Mukti. For him, Sadhya Mukti is not a problem at all. Because the person is so dedicated to the Lord, then naturally the person, had he come to Vedanta, discover Vedanta, then Sadhya Mukti would not have been the problem of gaining. But Sadhya Mukti also, Krama Mukti also, it is talked about in the Shastra. Therefore, this entire chapter dedicated to the topic Krama Mukti gained by the Upasaka. What type of Upasaka? Nishkama Upasaka, natu Saguna Brahma Upasaka. Saguna Brahma Upasana as a means required for Chitta Shuddhi. Here also Saguna Brahma Upasaka. Here also Saguna Brahma Upasaka, but Nishkama Upasaka. Saguna Brahma Upasaka is Upasaka on Brahma with attribute, but is Nishkama Upasaka. That is a difference. Nirguna Brahma Upasaka means it is Nididhyasana. It's not Upasaka. You can say because it is Upasana, Upasaka, that is becomes Upasana becomes Nidhyasana. That is ultimately a different topic, comes under Sadhya Mukti. This chapter is for deals with Karma Mukti. With this, the chapter is concluded, and incidentally here the Nirguna aspects of the Lord also talked about. Kavim Puranam, Anushasitaram, Anoraniyan, all these are Nirguna aspects. Even though it is Saguna Brahma, but Nirguna aspect also we have seen some shlokas, 2 or 3 shlokas, it is Nirguna aspect also talked about. So with this, the chapter is concluded. Ashtama Adhyayaha, which is called by the name Akshara Brahma Yoga, is concluded. So let us chant the last line. Om Tat Sat
Om Tat Sat.
Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishadsu
Srimad Bhagavad Gita Upanishadsu
Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre
Brahma
Vidyayam Yoga Shastre
Shri Krishna Arjuna Sambhade
Shri Krishna Arjuna Sambhade
Akshara Brahma Yogo Nama Ashtamodhyayah.
Akshara
Akshara
Brahma Nama
Nama
Ashtamodhyayah.
Astamodhyayah.
From next chapter onwards, the again Jivan Mukti is going to be talked about. So that is Upadesha. Incidentally, this Karma Mukti. 9th chapter, another important chapter, Raja Vidya Yoga. So again, back to the topic, Jivan Mukti. Mukti Sadhanam, Mukti is going to be talked about. We will see in the next chapters. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Dhanyavadah.
Hari Om. धन्यवाद गुरुजी. धन्यवाद शरणजी.
धन्यवाद जी.
धन्यवाद.